What is going on, guys? Today we're going to watch my boy Eric racing in his first Zwift race. He's racing in the PAS Stage 3. I believe it's called the Umezi Grit. It's an interesting course. It's half gravel, half tarmac, so it makes the bike choice really kind of interesting. He opted to go with the traditional road bike, which ended up, I think, biting him in the ass, but we'll go and see. Again, we're kind of just looking at this race to see how he did, how he performed, and what major issues and problems he had. He makes a couple rookie mistakes. You can see him starting off in the front. He takes on a lot of wind. That's kind of commonplace throughout the whole race. If you actually look at his power numbers, and if you know him personally in his category, specifically since this is his first race, I think his racing score is around 350. He should be competitive, really competitive, and we'll see how this sort of shakes out. Again, it was kind of error after error, not his fault, just getting his feet wet, and he definitely knew some mistakes he made. Let's speed up kind of through this race and see how it goes. Since he's on the road bike, when it gets to the gravel sections, his main goal really should be to stick with the group. And this is us approaching the first turn into the gravel, so it gets substantially harder for him being on the road bike. And so I think his main objective, considering that the finish line ends in a tarmac section, is he should stay in the group as much as he can. And that's a good lesson for everybody. Hold the wheel, save your matches, don't burn all your energy, but just make sure that whether you're planning for an attack mid-race or really just want a bunch sprint at the end, have a game plan. We're going to freeze frame here, and these three guys, this is the first attack. These three guys, these three riders, they have the gravel bikes, and you can see them just tearing it up. And this is kind of a big mistake he's making right now. You either close that gap right now and spike to 300, 400 watts, or back off. He kind of does neither, and he has the power. Right, he has the legs, he has the power. He's in the middle of nowhere. He's doing 260, 250, 270 watts. And finally, the only way he gets a draft bonus is other guys come to his rescue and end up sort of saving him. But you can't have those errors, right? You're burning unnecessary energy. You're not keeping it together. Those guys, you're hoping that you can reel them in. Again, it's early on in the race. He's a mile in. He's made a couple mistakes, and now he's kind of filtering towards the back of the pack. And this is sort of where he wants to be in order to again, keep his legs. The dirt section, is going to be rough. If looking back on this race, and I've actually raced this myself, and I used the gravel bike, I think the gravel bike is the way to go. And the reason I say that is the hardest parts of this circuit, the steepest climbs where you can really attack or lay down the gauntlet, are on the dirt sections. So, and you'll see that too when he approaches some of these steeper climbs. In my opinion, you're at a major disadvantage. Again, the finish line is a tarmac section, so you have that going for you if you can make it to the end, but we'll see how this goes. This is the first major climb you'll see. And already there's a couple guys who are putting some decent time between the lead and, and the peloton. You're looking at 10 seconds and growing. And so, but again, it's early days. I wouldn't panic. The rider we're watching, Eric, he's definitely not panicking. Just stay together. Don't let the group get away from you. Again, he's getting a little strung out, but nothing horrible, and nothing he can't recover from. And I think if he were to go back and do it again, he probably would do it on the gravel bike, and probably take it from there. As you can see, he did pretty well on that climb. So he stuck together with everybody. God, the dirt in his face. But here he's about to hop on the tarmac here soon, and you'll see him gain back everything. So in kind of this dual sport racing on Zwift, where it's kind of uncommon race anyway, so it's a little bit unfair. He should close that gap, jump on that wheel as fast as you can, which he does well, and the whole peloton kind of comes back together, and you'll see that in a little bit. Again, here he's in the middle of no man's land, right? Burning watts, and I have this sped up at 20 times, so he's in the win for a long time. And everybody's just on his wheel. Like, yeah, he caught that guy. The peloton was going to catch that guy. So you don't have to be the guy to burn up all those matches. And if you are, because it makes sense to make that break, jump early and jump hard. and do your best to get there. So we're about 3 miles in. The peloton's all back together. I don't think there's anybody ahead of him. I can't quite remember. There might be one guy. Oh yeah, there's a guy 7-second split. But again, he's on a gravel bike, and you can see he'll slowly start getting reeled in. And so, like, you shouldn't panic. He should be resting his legs. Even when he's in the draft, it's kind of like he's behind one wheel. I don't know if he thinks Zwift, it kind of knocks you in and out of the draft if you're a little to the side of somebody. So he should be like 6th, 7th wheel. There's no reason why you need to be stressing and being right on a single rider. You're getting boxed out, and then you're in the wind. Everybody punches their power-ups here. Again, this stage just released. This is kind of new. I'm not even entirely sure what that power-up is. I want to say it makes it so that the gravel sections react like tarmac, like you don't get slowed down, excuse me, in the gravel sections. So I'm not sure why everybody popped on the tarmac, but I could be wrong. Okay, so they're all back together. They pulled that rider back in. Peloton's all back together. This is the sweet spot he wants to be in, especially being at a disadvantage in the gravel. He should just be coasting, taking it easy as much as he can, not putting in a major effort, which he's doing. Like, he's doing a good job. They have this little pan. It's funny that when I did this race, when it panned away as he crossed the river like that, it automatically does that in Zwift. I had a guy actually launch an attack then, and he got a pretty good jump on everybody. Again, this is sped up incredibly fast, so it actually is maybe a 5-second gap where you can't see your numbers or see what people are doing. So he actually had a decent jump. He got reeled in, but it was quite funny. So he's doing well. Again, when I was spectating him, I had loaded into this race, and so my guy's just sitting idle at the start line, and I was able to spectate him this way and be able to get this footage for you guys. So this is, a steady incline on the tarmac section. And really, so you should have a game plan going into any of these races, right? So if his game plan is, okay, it's got to be a bunch sprint at the end because I have the road bike and it's a tarmac section at the end, okay, then he has to stay with everybody till the finish line. Or if it's, hey, I'm going to launch an attack midway through and try and solo it or go off with a group effort or something like that nature, okay, then you need a plan to do that during your section where your bike is strong. And you'll see that here, this guy, his name is ZC. He's launching right now. So everybody in this group is on road bikes. You can tell they're just flying, putting some distance on people. But this guy specifically launches his attack. Okay, if Eric were to go early, this is when he should go. He should have gone with that guy. They could have maybe worked together and put some real time against the guys in the gravel bikes. Instead, he decided to back off and sit in. And so his one opportunity to sort of put distance on people when he could, he just didn't maximize it. And you'll see that guy will eventually get caught in the gravel section. But it's moments like that where when you go into a race, again, this is his first race, and he just wanted to do well, and he just wanted, to see what it was like. So you can't really blame him for it. But definitely have a couple different scenarios where you can maximize, your results. And if it meant attacking during the race, then that would have made sense. Or again, waiting till the finish line and winning a bunch sprint is definitely another option. Here he is now in the dirt, and didn't put any space on the gravel guys, so he's in for another just tough go of it. Really, these two guys launch an attack, and it's about here that it starts to get a little hairy for him. Let's see, what is it? 5.5 miles in. Yeah, 5.5 miles in. He's getting spread out. He's not sticking to a wheel. He can do more power, and that's his thing. Is like when I spoke to him after, he said he wasn't completely decimated. He wasn't shredded, so he close that gap, right? I mean, he's doing 260, 320. Again, he only gets in the draft because other people kind of pass him. And then you think, okay, well, he's done, but he's not. You can see his power numbers keep rising. So he had the power in him to close it. He just opted not to. And then here it's either close that gap or drop back to the guy behind you. Again, he's just kind of in the middle of no man's land. I understand it's a climb, but the principle still kind of remains true. Again, because when you look at his overall power numbers at the end of the race, his power is not substantially, but it's higher than a lot of the people that place higher than him. Matter of fact, it was really close to the power numbers of the guy who won. And it's, particularly impressive when you see that he's about to go on, as he's effectively dropped now. he's about to go on this solo stint, which we'll speed up here. Well, he's just riding on his own. And you know, when I talked to him, he said that, yeah, I kind of took this section pretty easy because it was already lost. And that can happen in these races. If you lose your mark, if you get spit out the back, your race is effectively over before you're even really, you know, got your ass kicked. It's just done. So he's kind of in the solo effort. And this is what I want people to pay attention to as well. So if you look at the time splits, so right now he's racing for pride, right? Like he's not going to win. Okay, that's clear. But you're looking at his time splits. There's a guy who's 6 seconds ahead of him, which he's slowly reeling in, and that's good. And he'll have a go with this guy at the end. But the other guys, 23 seconds, 27 seconds, you're not going to catch those guys. So now you're in a solo chicken race with this guy. Okay, and you guys tell me, I think this guy, the guy he played, Lund went. I think this guy gets the better of our friend here, our friend Eric. I really think this guy took him to the cleaners. And I'll let you guys decide. I'll let you guys finish out the rest of this race on your own. But other than that, Eric had a great race. Good numbers, strong guy. Again, you just got to get back at it. Try it again. All right, peace out.